And welcome back. It is Ray Michaels here with Total News Nation and Grassroots 50. We're here at AmericaFest 2024, and I'm here with David Tice. Hi, David.
Good to be with you, Ray.
How are you? Wow,
Great.
I see, I saw this the other day, and I was excited when I knew that I'd be able to interview you. Dennis Quaid is narrating a brand new documentary, and it's called Grid Down, Power Up.
Right.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about the documentary.
So this documentary is about an hour long. It's available free on YouTube. It alerts American citizens to the fact that our critical civilian infrastructure is at great risk of being taken out, either by bad guys or a major solar flare.
All right. We're talking about electrical, right? We're talking about water supply. We're talking about just about everything that we take for granted on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly. So this film specifically is about the power grid, and the power grid does power our municipal water systems. So actually, if our grid goes out, our water is going to go out too.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think most people kind of relate the electric grid with the water supply. But again, water is essential to every single human being. And especially if you're in a large city, a shutdown could not affect thousands of people or hundreds of thousands. It's affecting millions or tens of millions of people.
In fact, the EMP Commission, which is a lot stronger than a congressional committee, operated for 17 years, and they concluded that as many as 90% of American citizens would die if the electric grid went out nationwide, coast to coast, for more than a year.
Wow. Now, you are not new to filmmaking. You were involved in Soul Surfer.
Right.
This was the story about the woman, young girl who lost her arm. She was a wonderful surfer. She lost her arm to a shark attack, and she got back on and still was doing competition surfing, correct?
Yeah, and that was an amazing story. I think it reached hundreds of millions of people, and it's a great story of faith and overcoming adversity. And we put that out in 2011. I was really proud to be a part of that.
Yeah. So Dennis Quaid, he actually narrates this. You probably remember that he just did the Reagan movie, which was critically acclaimed for his role there. But he's part of this. Now, is this out now?
Yes, it is. It's available now on YouTube, also on Salem Now. It's coming on Amazon and EarthX TV, but you can watch it for free. We also have a website, griddownpowerup.com, and we have a facility by which viewers can send pre-written emails and make phone calls to their regulators, legislators, and members of board of directors of their state's utilities.
All right, so give me an idea. What could possibly happen to the grid, right? You said that a lot of them don't have a lot of high security. It may be just a chain link fence around the power grid. It doesn't seem like it's a whole lot. I mean, we're building walls to protect, country from country. Seems like we should be protecting it.
Exactly. So the film talks about four major threat vectors. One is physical attack, a cyber attack. A third is an electromagnetic pulse or an EMP. And then fourth is a geomagnetic disturbance, or GMD, which is essentially a natural electromagnetic pulse.
So I'm sure that they rate these accordingly, but what could cause, obviously somebody could break in and cause havoc, right? Are there security cameras? Are there protections of any kind right around the important power grids?
Most substations, to my knowledge, don't even have security cameras. And frankly, our substations, if as few as 9 major substations at critical nodes were taken out, and if our transformers were severely damaged, then it could cause a nationwide outage of power. And that was determined from a Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, report.
So a substation would control about how many homes?
Well, substations is hierarchical. You'll see smaller ones in some neighborhoods, but at the entry of cities, there's bigger substations, and those bigger substations are more important and can, be responsible for 500,000 homes or so.
Now we're talking about actually the transfer of power. So like here in Arizona, we have Palo Verde Nuclear Generating Station, right? The power comes out, it goes through the grid, goes to substations, then that sets it out, right? Are they concerned with attacking the actual source, or just the stations that are outside of the source?
So bad guys are thinking hierarchical as far as which critical nodes are the most important. So obviously, if you take out a nuclear power plant, that's obviously huge. There's more security there. But then some of these substations, the bigger substations at the city entries, or, essentially what's happening is the power is, the voltage is ratcheted down before it goes into the homes. The voltage is very high when it's traversing the country or coming from a nuclear power plant, and then the voltage is ratcheted down through these transformers. And so I'm worried about those because those are critical nodes, and there's fewer of those, but if you take those out and you wipe out those transformers, it could take as long as 2 years to replace one of these big transformers.
Oh my gosh, 2 years. I can't even imagine the catastrophic results of being without power, without water, without general infrastructure for 2 years.
That's right. That's why if this happened on a nationwide basis, and we're all used to these short-term outages, but what makes the magnitude exponentially higher is, one, if it's nationwide, then suddenly, unlike for Katrina, where Houston and Dallas can help out New Orleans, suddenly we have to count on Moscow and Paris.
Wow.
And then if it's long lasting, suddenly people's food supply runs out, the supply chain shuts down, people start dying from lack of water, we end up having diseases because the wastewater systems don't work. It truly becomes zombie apocalypse without the zombies.
Wow, that doesn't look like a very good outlet. All right, so where can they see this movie?
Again, they can see it on YouTube, free.
Okay.
Also on Salem Now. I do want to leave viewers with a little bit of hope. We actually end the movie hopeful because America has had their backs up against the wall before, and we built a nationwide highway system. We overcame Nazi Germany by converting our industrial base to an arsenal of democracy, and therefore we can do this. But we just have to make it happen by watching the film, sending these pre-written emails, and then telling your friends.
Wow. Yeah, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that we need to make Congress aware, right, that we need this. We need to make sure that our local municipalities, right, are aware of this. So do we go to the city council? Do we go to the mayor? Who do we?
I'd say states are the most important because there's a state public utility commission. And in fact, on our outreach, you put in your home address and you will have pre-written emails both to your two state houses, your state PUC chairman, FERC and NERC, FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission,
right.
NERC, North American Regulatory Corporation, they both govern utilities. And therefore, these commissioners need to be told how important we feel like this is.
Wow, well, that's awesome. Well, this is David Tice. He is the executive producer for Grid Down, Power Up, and it's narrated by Dennis Quaid. We look forward to seeing that. You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And how do they reach you? Do you have a website?
They can reach me through Grid Down, Power Up, and I will get those replies.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we encourage you to go out there. You want to make sure that you're proactive on these things, right? Be prepared. Don't expect somebody to come in and save you. This is individual rights, liberties, and freedoms, which means individual responsibility, individual accountability. So it's very, very important. But thank you for joining us here. David, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm Ray Michaels. We're here with Total News Nation and Grassroots 50. Until next time, we'll see you real soon.